looking into that. Now, when I was a brand new baby lawyer, I cut my teeth doing a lot of photo radar cases. A lot. I've talked about them here on this channel before. But there is one court here in Arizona, which shall not be named, where I used to have this relationship with this judge, where we would look at photographs on these photo radar cameras side by side. And we would be able to sort of match the drivers. And a big defense in photo radar cases, not my client, I don't know who that is. He doesn't know who that is. Well, who was in his car? No idea. Could have been a cousin, could have been I have no idea. But it's not him. And we don't have to prove that. The burden of proof is on the government to prove who they say it is. So the point here, long story short, I got a lot of experience looking at photographs and comparing and contrasting them to try to see if identities match. There are two things that I look at instantly to see whether they match, right? Pretty easy. Two things are easy to look at. Number one is the hairline. Okay, number one is the hairline. You can see I've got a widow's peak. So my hair kind of comes to the front kind of, and it peaks right here in a point. Most people don't have that. A lot of people don't have that. Some people think it's kind of a receding hairline. I don't think it is. I hope it's not. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it's pretty good right now, but it's just got a point to it. Okay, some people don't have that. Like Justin Trudeau, for example, does not have that. You can see this right here. If some people, if some people might have a very big widow's peak, other people might not. The other thing that we would always look at in photo radar cases is the earlobe and whether the earlobe is connected or not. So you can have attached earlobes or detached earlobes. And so, you can sort of see my earlobes are pretty detached, but some people's actually connect there at the bottom. And so these are just two things you can look at, relatively quickly. And, it's hard to tell from this photograph whether these two things are similar or not, but they just don't even look alike at all, right? I'm not sure that these two people are related at all, honestly. This guy has a bad receding hairline. Can't tell with a widow's peak. I don't know if Justin Trudeau has any work done, but he's got a full head of hair. You can also see that pop-up looks like a little bit more of a dangled earlobe, and Trudeau's looks like it's a little bit more attached. And so the hairlines and the earlobes just don't look like they match at all. So other people are speculating around the internet, and they're saying maybe this one looks like it's a little bit more of a match. And, look, it's not just the looks, right? It's also the policies. I mean, these two look alike, I think. But I think that maybe their policies also, are another thing that you could put in that box. So you can see here, looks like this earlobe, right, looks attached. And I don't see a widow's peak here. Can't see any of those things here on Castro, but that looks kind of like an attached earlobe, but it's hard to tell. But certainly the rest of the face looks, I'd say much more similar. We have another example here where you can see, you can see a much stronger resemblance, and we also see no widow's peak on Castro. Looks like he's got an attached earlobe, which matches the attached earlobe, which matches the no widow's peak. So I think that those two guys are pretty similar. I mean, the nose looks exactly the same, right? I mean, that nose is pretty dang good. Got kind of a middle bulb here, and here we also have, I mean, this is just a concoction of all these images. So of course Trudeau's on the left, Castro's on the right, and I mean they basically look like identical. Even this photograph here of a sort of a younger Trudeau and a younger Castro, I mean, that looks like it could actually be a younger Trudeau, doesn't it? Same here. I mean, even the smile's similar, right? Closing the mouth with no teeth being shown. And down here at the bottom, it's like the same exact mustache. And it's almost like Trudeau saw a father of Castro and just said, that's a pretty good look. That's a pretty good look. Maybe I should sport that up here up north in the snow. And so there's a lot more anecdotal evidence about this. 1976, right after the time of the October crisis, right after dictator Daddy Trudeau instituted the War Act, he went down to go and visit with the dictator of Cuba. And this is his wife, who looks like she has like a little romantic, little Valentine's Day, little love touch there, right there on the socialist dictator's arm. And they're looking at photos. I wonder what they're looking at. I wonder if that's photos of his child, Justin. I don't know. But very interesting. So a little loving touch there. Very curious. And over here in 1976, Fidel Castro also holding Michael Trudeau next to an adoring Margaret while still on the tarmac of their first official visit. And she looks, she looks like she's kind of enamored looking at her man with their child. That's Michael Trudeau. I don't know what the allegation there is, but very, very interesting. Very curious. Now, regardless, both of these people are communists. And so what do communists do when they are trying to take over a country for themselves or for their minions? Well, they do things like institute federal policies that give them unlimited control. And so what exactly did the October crisis do? It says here, according to Wikipedia, it was the only occasion that the War Measures Act was invoked. FLQ was declared an unlawful association. Okay, so an entire bucket of people declared unlawful, just like they're doing here in the United States. Everybody who is MAGA is now an insurrectionist, right? Going after Sean Hannity's cell phone records, Sebastian Gorka, trying to use the January 6th Select Committee to go after an entire political party and a political opponent. Same thing happened back here. They labeled the FLQ, that organization. Same thing's happening to the truckers, right? All the truckers are now terrorists, according to this government. This meant that the police had full power to arrest, interrogate, hold anyone whom they believed had association in jail. It says a person who was a member of the group or acted or supported it in some fashion became liable to a jail term not to exceed 5 years. A person arrested for such purpose could be held without bail, folks, for up to 90 days. 90 days of no judge, no bail hearing, no due process. 3 months. They can just lock you up and lock you away. It's estimated that within the first 24 hours, police had mobilized to arrest suspects. They conducted 3,000 searches. 497 people were detained. 3,000 searches. 500 people arrested within 24 hours. Can you believe what kind of scummy people have to be willing to go do that? To just go rummage through people's houses 3,000 times and start arresting people? Sick. The War Measures Act also violated and limited many human rights of people being incarcerated. Everyone was denied due process. Habeas corpus, an individual's right to have a judge confirm that they've been lawfully detained, was suspended. The Crown could detain a suspect for 7 days before charging them with a crime. In addition, the Attorney General, before 7 days expired, could hold them longer for 21 days. Prisoners, no counsel. Many were held incommunicado. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So Justin Trudeau's daddy, alleged daddy, did that back in 1970 for the October crisis. And they're doing it again. Interesting. And so they kind of leapfrogged America. You know, America, here we only have one January 6th Select Committee, and they're pretty much a bunch of dummies there. They're not really too bright, but they're working real hard to sort of wreck our due process and our equal protection and eliminate a lot of those very important concepts.